What are your names?
My name is Eugene, Venton.
And my name's Yonna Venton.
When and where were you born?
Go ahead.
I was born in Hastings, Michigan, Berry County.
I was born in Battle Creek, Michigan.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in numerous cities. I went to school in numerous cities. I grew up in about probably 6, 7, 8 cities before I got out of town.
I grew up in my own little one light town, and all through about 8th and 9th grade. And then the 3 schools consolidated, built a new high school. The band members went to that school first, kind of broke up our little group that we'd been through kindergarten, through the whole thing. And then we came a year later. And it's still right close to my little town.
What was the home you grew up in like?
Very strict. We had to do a lot of work around the house. Had to do a lot of work in the summertime, and the house was just a moderate house. Nothing fancy.
When I was 4, we lived in a house that didn't even have running water. Then we moved up the road a ways and had to put a bathroom into there, but at least there was running water.
Did you have chores?
Yes, we did. We had to do our dishes. We had to make our beds, mow the lawn. And there was no allowance for it.
I didn't have to do anything at the house. My mother did it all.
Did you have any jobs when you were young?
Yeah, between the 4th and 8th grade, we pretty much started working every summer in onion fields, which consists of pulling onions and cutting the tops off and putting them in a bushel basket. And so you had some money to buy your school clothes and had paper route in high school, which was real fun. Out there in the middle of a snowstorm, in the middle of the morning, deliver newspapers before you went to school. It was money and fun.
In Michigan, there's snow that you're doing these things in. The only job I can remember having was picking strawberries. And then, of course, we ate lots of strawberries as we went along, and you threw the rotten ones at each other. That was fun.
What was school like for you?
Tough. It was hard to come by, but it was fun. We went to a 2-room school from the 4th to the 8th grade, and that was all one same teacher, and he was your playground superintendent, or whatever he was called. He played softball. We had a softball team, but it was real fun. It just was a lot different than it is today. It was more relaxed, I would say.
But you went to a lot of different schools.
But there was a lot of different schools involved in there. I went to probably 6, 7 different schools too.
But school was always easy for me. I didn't have any problems with school.
How's the world today different from when you were a child?
Everything is so much faster. We were just, that was a small town, but it was like in the country. We rode our bikes everywhere. We didn't have to worry. Parents didn't worry about your kids doing anything. If you showed up for lunch, then you knew that it was all right. And it was just more freedom in that way. You hardly went anywhere for a long distance. You just, you went 5 miles to or downtown if there was a grocery store at that time.
It was a lot of freedom in there that you could do things that you wouldn't really want to do today, like take off on a mile or 2 miles from home on your bicycle, walking or whatever. We'd go to places, just little fishing ponds, and you could go to them, and your parents didn't have to worry about you.
You got your phone, didn't you?
Yeah. Do I break right here?
Yeah, why don't you take a break for just a second?
Like when we went to school, we had to know how to tie our shoes. And we had to know our alphabet and our numbers, and I guess they still do that. But Velcro, our grandkids don't know how to tie their shoes, or barely. And just things like that. You relied on yourself. You didn't have to go and have everybody do everything for you. You just kind of your own community, and if you needed help, your neighbors came and helped you, and sometimes that's still the way it is today. Dear.
What's he doing now?
Did they leave a voicemail, maybe?
Maybe. I don't know what that phone does.
That's how things are different.
Yeah, that is one of the different things in this days is you've got phones you carry with you. Where back then you didn't worry about a telephone.
It was a dial phone, which you didn't have.
It wasn't in your pocket with you.
When we were growing up, we didn't have phones till later in life either.
How did you two meet?
It was a chance meeting. It was at a restaurant, drive-in restaurant, where the waitress come out to your car and took your orders. And you ordered it like a dog. It was a dog and suds. Yeah.
Kind of like a Sonic.
Like a Sonic, but the people come out, took your order, and then went back in and got it and brought it back out to you. And my dear wife, I drove in there and had a nice fancy car, convertible, and she just thought I was such a wonderful guy and had lots of money and jumped in the car with me.
I did not. I knew he was going to say that. I did not jump in the car with him. He got my phone number and he called me up and we started dating. He just got out of the Air Force. Army, I mean. So he'd come home and told me he was looking for a wife. And he found me.
What memories stand out from your wedding day?
He had his arm in a cast. And it rained and it rained and it rained. And we had it in a church, nothing big fancy, and the water in the basement of the church for the reception. And my neighbor was a janitor at school. He went to school and got the big, not vacuum, but whatever you suck the water up with. So had that all cleaned up. And went on our honeymoon in the rain, farther up north, and it rained and rained.
Snowed.
Next morning it was snow.
What is the key to a successful marriage?
Trust. You have to trust your spouse.
When I say overlook the problems you have.
What was your proudest moment as a parent?
I guess raising two good kids. They got good jobs, they support their families, they don't drink, they don't smoke, and as much as I know, they don't cuss much.
What did your family enjoy doing together when your kids were young?
We went camping a couple weeks every year. Did a lot of boating, water skiing, some fishing. Of course, the fishing in Michigan is a lot different than it is here. You did fishing, camping, boating, water skiing, just general everyday stuff, playing softball.
Whatever we did, we took the kids with us. We hardly ever had a babysitter. If the kids weren't invited, we didn't go. We just had families. Just family did things together.
What was your profession and how did you choose it?
I was a machinist, and it just kind of progressed into that. I went to the Army and took up being an automotive mechanic, and I got out and hired into the company that I was at, and they started me in on an engine lathe, which is just a lathe, and just worked in from there. I worked into running all sorts of machines, and I kind of liked it, so I stayed with it.
And I started working at the post office when we got down here in North Carolina. Before that, I just worked in a cafeteria at the school. When my boys got in school, then I started working in school. And then went from there, and then post office opened up down here, and so I worked 26 years down here.
How did you come to McDowell?
I wanted to move south back in about 70-something. And my dear wife would not let me because she was raised in a town and wanted to stay in Michigan. Weather got colder to her and got older, and in 81 I got approval to move south, and I come down here this side of the mountains. A guy I worked with told me about how the weather was down here, and I thought we'd come down here, and I found a job at Baxter's, and it was all there from then on.
What accomplishments are you most proud of?
Myself, since I retired, I deliver home delivered meals, and I think that's one of the best things I've ever done for people.
I was proud to be a mail carrier. I think I did a good job.
Why did it make you proud to deliver meals?
I meet a lot of people that are real nice, they're good to you, and you just they kind of feel like family to you once you get delivering meals. I've been doing this for 8 years with them, and I've pretty much got the same people other than a few that have not on my route anymore. But you just kind of worry about them and you just take care of them. I really like it.
Did you volunteer?
After I retired, then, after I broke my ankle, got over that, and I started coming out here for exercise to lose some of that I need and loosen up again after breaking my ankle. And so then it came to the one that was in charge of the chair exercise. She was in an accident. I took over, and so I've been doing that ever since. So that's been, I don't know, quite a few years now too. And now I do crochet class and do puzzles and full focus, just whatever. Enjoy it. 5 days a week I'm here.
Is there any other questions that we have not asked you that you'd like us to ask you?
I would like to tell where my name comes from.
Sure.
My mother was pregnant, but my aunt was in Okinawa right at the end of the war. She was a nurse. And I think she said when they were on the bus headed out, or truck or whatever, when they were headed back to the States then, they came through a little town called Yonna. And she thought that was real pretty. And so she told my mother, how about that name for you if the baby's a girl? And Mom said, well, that's kind of a lot. And she says, well, you don't have to use the whole thing. And so they decided on Yonna, and then they had to figure out how to spell it. And I have it written in Japanese somewhere in the house, how it is. And so that's how I ended up with it.
Any other questions?
Can't take nothing right off.
Unless you want to tell you about Ray, for 5 generations.
Oh, I was explaining to my granddaughter this weekend about her name, our middle names are Ray. And it's a 5-generation middle name. It may be more than that, I don't know. That's what we trace back pretty much. It's just something that was put into the family.
Her Ray's name is spelled R-A-E, whereas this is R-A-Y. But it's still Ray. So we told her if she ever has a son or daughter, she can
We'd like to have her name it Ray.
that middle name too.
Anything else?
I was stationed in Germany for a little over 30 months. It was just pretty much like all military things. We was on call. We was a border patrol. We supported a border patrol unit, mechanically wise. And they'd call it an alert, and they'd blow the whistle in the middle of the night, and everybody headed out into the field and rolled under a truck and slept till daylight. Maybe you'd stay the rest of the day and have lunch out in the field and then come home. It was just a readiness alert, so they knew you was ready to go to whatever they needed. Otherwise, just done what you had to do, pull guard duty and drove the gas truck. Go get gas.
Thank you for letting me interview you today.
You're welcome.
We're glad to do this. Nice to have met you.